here in the beautiful districts of Milan, where revolution has taken all over Europe. Throughout the continent, people have stood up in defiance of their own government in hopes of making new laws in their favor. Here in Italy, however, they're fighting for something more: unification. For 30 years now, the Italians have been fighting for foreign occupiers, foreign leaders, in hopes of coming together as one single big country. In the south, individual states rule their own places, but in the north is where the mighty Austrian Empire rules, and that's where the city of Milan is located, in the north. During the first days of January alone, the Milanese have been boycotting tobacco products and gambling products as well. It is clear that the Milanese had it up to here with the Austrians in their own cities. But the Austrian soldiers couldn't take it anymore, and they gathered a large crowd of people and set them up against this very wall right here and proceeded to charge them with bayonets. As you can imagine, a lot of people were hurt and injured because of this. But the Milanese wouldn't stop. They could not be put down. And with their leader, Carlos Catano, who is very devoted to this revolution, filled the crowd with his speeches that motivated hundreds, perhaps thousands of people to take up arms and push back the foreign Austrian invaders. Now the entire city has turned their backs on the Austrians and wanted to seek their own independence. But reports of the Austrians bringing in a massive army to retake the city turned out to be sadly true. And with the Austrians, they were led by the 80-year-old but capable Joseph von Maddox, who he and his army camped outside the cities, and by dawn he entered the streets of the cities, and the Milanese were not going to stand by. Instead, they stood their ground and fought the Austrians in hand-to-hand combat. But the rebels knew they were outgunned and outmatched by the Austrians, and they knew they couldn't fight off the Austrians for very long, and they had to call on the rural population for support, in which they were granted with the given aid of support from the church. And now the entire city has joined the cause for a revolution. What amazes me is that the entire city, both rich and poor, it didn't matter what class you were, all joined up to fight against one common enemy, which was the Austrians, for one common goal: unification. And what's another impressive tactic that the rebels used was using orphans as message runners, delivering valuable info to other camps, other HQs, to other people. And that just blows my mind. For 5 entire days, the people of Milan held out against the Austrian army. House-to-house fighting was commonplace, and as you can imagine, there was enormous casualties on both sides. A little more over 1,000 for the Austrians, but for the rebels, it was half of their fighting force. And that took a really blow to the guts. And Radetzky, it was a small price to pay for freedom, but Radetzky knew that if he kept on fighting, more and more people were going to be killed. And reports of the Piedmontese army coming in to help the rebels was a final decision of leaving the city. And with that, the Austrians were no more. and people in Milanese were grateful that they scored a victory. And Carlos Catano made an impressive speech that motivated the entire city to keep on fighting for the cause. The city erupted in cheers, and Carlos Catano gave an impressive speech that motivated hundreds, perhaps the entire city, to keep fighting for the cause of unification.